Hi everybody, it's Courtney, and today's video is part of the What Inspires You card hop. And basically, we're kind of just going over our story of card making and what inspires us and keeps us inspired. And we are celebrating the launch of Create and Inspire, which I will link below. So today I am going to be using the Perfectly Perfect stamp set by Altenew, as well as the Ditzy print stamp set. Now, what I decided to do is recreate one of the very first cards I made. And this is one of the very first cards I made. You can see that it's a wonky size. I just cut whatever size I wanted. The paper's flimsy, and I obviously no longer have any of these products that I used. So I have to kind of improvise, and hopefully I've improved over the years. So in order to create my background, I am going to be using the Ditzy print stamp set, which is a layering stamp set. And I'm going to be using some Distress Oxides here, and I am stamping these out on a panel of Bristol Smooth cardstock. So I'm starting off with this solid piece and stamping this out with the Shaded Lilac, which is the lightest color. Now, it doesn't matter if your stamping's perfect, and you'll see why in just a minute. I think in the original card, I did use pattern paper, but if you guys have watched my channel before, you know that I don't often work with pattern paper. I don't have any, and I struggle with it. So that's the reason why I don't use it, and I just prefer to make my own background. So I'm going to try my best here. So moving on to the second layer here, I'm going to bring out the Seedless Preserves. And like I said, this is a layering stamp set. And normally I would be a little bit more careful when I'm working with layering stamp sets, but in this case, it really just doesn't matter. I'm lining it up to I'm sort of kind of lining it up. I'm not stressing too much if it's not perfectly lined up. It is what it is. So once I have that second layer down, and to be honest, this is actually a pretty easy layering stamp set if I was actually taking my time. There's also an outline image that I just didn't use, but that would also help with the layering if you decided to use it. So for the third layer, I am going to bring out Dusty Concord. And I started using this as a normal layering, but realized that it just didn't really show up too much, and I think it's because the Seedless Preserves was so dark that I ended up just stamping out these, I can't even say they're images because they're just kind of texture, I guess, within the flowers, but I just used it to fill in the gaps, the white space. Now, once my stamping was done, I am going to spritz this with water. I'm going to spritz it with quite a bit of water, and I'm going to just let the inks spread the way they spread. Whatever happens, happens. I am still going to have a little bit of that flower left behind, but a lot of that ink will kind of smush together and kind of just blend on its own and kind of give that watercolor look, just like that pattern paper had in the original card. I did take a paper towel just to kind of seep up some of these puddles that I was getting on the outer edges, and realized that because I didn't tape this down, which I should have taped down, I'm left with a lot of white space in the center because it's all dripping down to the sides. As you can see, my paper is pretty warped. So in order to fill in those areas, I'm just going to smush a little bit of this Dusty Concord onto an acrylic block, spritz that with a little bit of water, and take a paintbrush and just spatter this in these white areas. Now, because the paper is wet, it's going to continue to spread, but I'm not going to have so much white space left behind. So I went ahead and put that aside to dry, and you'll see that once it dries, it does give a completely different look. It will tone down a little bit. For my images, I am going to bring out the Perfectly Perfect stamp set, and I'm going to stamp these out onto a piece of Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock using some Blackout ink by Ink on 3. These have really fine lines to them, which I love, especially for no line coloring, but I didn't do no line coloring today. But I did have to stamp these twice just to make sure that I got a bold black outline and that it was easy for you guys to see on camera. So next we're going to move on to the coloring. I'm not going to show you all of the coloring because it was a little repetitive, and I kept it pretty simple. So while I'm doing the coloring, I will tell you about my card making journey, I guess you could say. So I started making cards about 10 years ago, and it started with wedding invitations. I decided to make some wedding invitations and figured it was the cheapest way to go. So I got some basic supplies, a paper trimmer, a corner rounder, or whatever you want to call it. Very, very basic supplies. Didn't even have stamps. Didn't even know what those acrylic little things in the package at Michael's were. And then that following year, I decided that I wanted to get a new hobby and I wanted to make my own Christmas cards. So I searched on YouTube on handmade Christmas cards and found this whole new world and realized that a paper trimmer and a corner rounder was not going to be sufficient enough for me. So I went back to the craft store, got a bunch of stuff, and tried to save money where I could, but ultimately ended up spending a whole lot in the first couple of years. But to be quite honest, I wasn't all that successful making my own Christmas cards that year, but it definitely did start a whole new part of my life. And I continued making cards for quite a few years, and I was pretty much alone doing it. I didn't know any other crafters. I didn't share on social media. I may have followed like Simon Says Stamp on Facebook or something like that, but that was pretty much the extent of it. And fast forward to many years later, I decided that I wanted to start a YouTube channel and blog and start sharing on social media. And it was not planned. I did not have the technology or the materials that I needed to do that, but I woke up one day and said that I was going to do it, and I did it. And I didn't know anyone. I still didn't know anyone. That many years later, I didn't know any other crafters. I didn't know any YouTubers or bloggers at that time. So I didn't really have anybody to reach out to for any guidance as far as how I should go about this. But I did it anyway. And it took me a long time to be comfortable to ask people or to get to know people. I felt like I was the newbie, and sometimes I still feel like I'm a newbie. But that is how I became a card maker, and that is how I became a YouTuber. I just decided that it was time to start meeting other crafters, whether it be online or in person. I just needed to have some sort of friendship with people that had the same hobby and same passion as I did, and could kind of bounce ideas off of each other, encourage one another, inspire one another. And little did I know that it was going to lead to all of this. And I couldn't be happier that it has, but never in a million years would I have expected it to become what it has become. So that is pretty much how I got started with all of it. So I'm finishing up the coloring here, and I did cut out the images with my Scan and Cut because obviously I don't have the coordinating dies. So next I took a circle die and a stitched circle die that's just a little bit larger and cut those from some white cardstock because quite honestly, I didn't have too much of a plan going into this. So I ended up cutting down my main panel with a stitched rectangle die because in the original card, I used that dark gray, and I wasn't sure how I wanted to bring that in yet, but I also have another piece of white cardstock that's just a little bit larger than my main panel. I'm just taking one of my markers to color the edges to make it look as if I used coordinating cardstock, even though I don't want to dig through my colored cardstock to find it. So this will make it look as if I used colored cardstock. Did the same thing for the stitched circle die as well, and this will just kind of frame everything in, and no need to buy or have a ton of colored cardstock to make everything match. So I went ahead and glued everything together. I layered the main panel onto the other panel that I kind of colored in the edges, and I'm using my Tombow Mono Multi Glue. I prefer to use wet glue just because I can never line anything up correctly the first time. I did cut a piece of dark gray cardstock just to bring in that dark gray, and I cut this to a regular A2 size and layered that onto my card base just to make it look as if I used a gray card base, but I just use white because it's just easier for the insides of the cards. Layered everything together on top of that, and then I can arrange my flowers. I arrange them onto my circle die first before actually gluing them down, and then I can kind of just pick up the edges and glue them down, make them permanent once I'm happy with the placement. I ended up gluing the leaves and flowers down flat with that same Tombow Mono Multi Glue instead of adding foam tape, just because I knew that there was going to be a lot of dimension to the card anyway, and in order to fit in an envelope and mail properly, I decided that just popping up the circle would be enough. So for my sentiment, I am going to take one of the sentiments from the Ditzy Print stamp set, and this is a very, very skinny little sentiment, but I am going to take another piece of that gray cardstock, treat that with my anti-static tool, stamp out the sentiment with some Versamark ink, and sprinkle on some white embossing powder and heat set that. Now this is really tiny sentiment, so you want to make sure that you're using a embossing powder that's not too chunky, or else you're going to kind of lose those letters. Once that was heat set, I cut that into a very skinny little strip and cut the one side at an angle, and this just adds a little bit extra interest to your sentiment strips. I ended up having to cut it down a little bit more, but you'll see that in a second. So next I went ahead and took some foam tape to pop up this large circle and place that right there in the center of my card panel. And for my sentiment, I wanted this to be kind of somewhat on the circle, somewhat not on the circle. So in order to make this completely straight across, being I have some dimension to it, I'm adding just a little bit of foam tape to the one end that's hanging off the circle, and I'll add the wet glue to the other side that's actually on the circle, which is already popped up with the foam tape. That way it'll just be completely straight across and I won't have some kind of, you know, mixed dimension, if that makes sense. So finished off with a few glitter Nuvo drops. These are the White Blizzard. They're just clear with a little bit of shimmer around my flowers, and that is it. Here's a comparison between my original card from many years ago and today's card. I hope I improved just a little bit, but I will link all of the information for the hop as well as the next person in the hop in the description box below. Go ahead and hop along with us and see what inspires everybody else. Have a great day, guys. Bye.